I'm Emily Springsteel, reading a passage from chapter 29 of Bleak House by Charles Dickens. This passage shows Lady Dedlock discovering her relationship to Esther by Mr. Guppy's information. Lady Dedlock denies his claims, but her reaction is hard to hide. Is the dead color on my lady's face reflected from the screen, which has a silk ground, and which she holds her raised hand as if she'd forgotten it? Or is it a dreadful paleness that has fallen on her? Did your ladyship, says Mr. Guppy, ever happen to hear of a Miss Barbary? I don't know. I think so, yes. Was Miss Barbary at all connected with your ladyship's family? My lady's lips move, but they utter nothing. She shakes her head. Not connected, says Mr. Guppy. Oh, not to your ladyship's knowledge, perhaps. Ah, but might be, yes? After each of these interrogatories, she has inclined her head. Very good. Now this Miss Barbary was extremely close. Seems to have been extraordinarily close for a female. Females being generally, in common life at least, rather given to conversation. And my witness has never had an idea whether she possessed a single relative. On one occasion, and only one, she seems to have been confidential to my witness, on a single point, and she then told her that the little girl's real name was not Esther Summerson, but Esther Hawdon. My God! Mr. Guppy stares. Lady Dedlock sits before him, looking him through with the same dark shade upon her face, in the same attitude, even to the holding of the screen, with her lips a little apart, her brow a little contracted, but for the moment dead. He sees her consciousness return, sees a tremor pass across her frame like a ripple over water, sees her lips shake, sees her compose them by a great effort, sees her force herself back to the knowledge of his presence and of what he has said. All this so quickly that her exclamation and her dead condition seem to have passed away like the features of those long-preserved dead bodies, sometimes opened up in tombs, which, struck by the air like lightning, vanish in a breath. Your ladyship is acquainted with the name of Hawdon? I have heard it before. Name of any collateral or remote branch of your ladyship's family? No. Now, your ladyship, says Mr. Guppy, I come to the last point of the case, so far as I have got it up. It's going on, and I shall gather it up closer and closer as it goes on. Your ladyship must know, if your ladyship don't happen by any chance to know already, that there was found dead at the house of a person named Crook near Chancery Lane, some time ago, a law writer in great distress, upon which law writer there was an inquest, and which law writer was an anonymous character, his name being unknown. But, your ladyship, I have discovered very lately that that law writer's name was Hawdon. And what is that to me? Aye, your ladyship, that's the question. Now, your ladyship, a queer thing happened after that man's death. A lady started up, a disguised lady, your ladyship, who went to look at the scene of the action, and went to look at his grave. She hired a crossing sweeping boy to show it to her. If your ladyship would wish to have the boy produced in corroboration of this statement, I can lay my hand upon him at any time. The wretched boy is nothing to my lady, and she does not wish to have him produced. Oh, I assure your ladyship, it's a very queer start indeed, says Mr. Guppy. If you was to hear him tell of the rings that sparkled on her fingers when she took off her glove, you'd think it quite romantic. There are diamonds glittering on the hand that holds the screen. My lady trifles with the screen and makes them glitter more, again with the expression which in other times might have been so dangerous to the young man of the name of Guppy. It was supposed, your ladyship, that he left no rag or scrap behind him which he could possibly be identified. But he did. He left a bundle of old letters. The screen still goes, as before. All the time her eyes never once release him. They were taken and secreted, and tomorrow night, your ladyship, they will come into my possession. Still I ask you, what is this to me? Your ladyship, I conclude with that, Mr. Guppy rises. If you think that there's enough in this chain of circumstances put together in the undoubted strong likeness of your lady to your ladyship, which is a positive fact for a jury, in having her been brought up by Miss Barbary, and Miss Barbary stating Miss Summerson's real name to be Hawdon, in your ladyship's knowing both these names very well, and in Hawdon's dying as he did, to give your ladyship a family interest in going further into the case. I will bring these papers here. I don't know what they are, except that they are old letters. I have never had them in my possession yet. I will bring those papers here as soon as I get them, and go over them for the first time with your ladyship. I have told your ladyship my object. I have told your ladyship that I have been placed in a very disagreeable situation. If any complaint was made, and all is in strict confidence. Is this the full purpose of the young man of the name Guppy, or has he any other? Do his words disclose the length, breadth, depth of his object, and suspicion in coming here? Or if not, what do they hide? He is a match for my lady there. She may look at him, but he can look at the table and keep that witness box face of him from telling anything.